Dragons are the nuclear weapons in the world of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. In fact, long before the events of these two series, Aegon the Conqueror became the first Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and King on the Iron Throne thanks to the power of 3 dragons. But Aegon and House Targaryen were not the first to wield this power. Before them, the Valyrian Freehold, the mightiest civilization ever known, ruled most of Essos, the massive continent east of Westeros, with the power of dragons. But where did the dragons come from? Our journey to answer this question will take us back thousands of years, to the Valyrian Freehold, deep inside their 14 flames, and to the mysterious lands of Sithorios, to the even more mysterious Shadowlands beyond Ashai. Bloodmages, Wyverns, Firewyrms, half-human hybrids, and the Lord of Light, all of these may play a role in the origin of dragons. As far as we know, the Valyrian Freehold, the civilization from which the Targaryens hailed, were the first to wield the mighty power of the dragon. About 5,000 years ago, the, at the time, humble civilization of Valyria learned to tame dragons. With this power, they overthrew the old empire of Geese and conquered most of Essos. So where did the Valyrians get their dragons? Much of their wealth came from mining precious metals deep within the 14 Flames, a ring of volcanoes in their home peninsula. According to Valyrian legend, this is where dragons originated. They sprang forth out of the volcanoes, and the Valyrians learned how to tame them. These are the same volcanoes which ultimately erupted, contributing to the doom of Valyria, the collapse of their civilization, and the complete destruction of their homeland peninsula. Other theories claim that dragons are not naturally occurring, that instead they are the result of unnatural breeding and magic by humans. Septon Barth, hand to King Jaehaerys I, and widely known but controversial author of Dragons, Worms, and Wyverns, Their Unnatural History, speculated that the Bloodmages of Valyria turned wyverns into dragons. Mostly found in the mysterious land of Sithorios, the continent south of Essos and the Valyrian Peninsula, wyverns are considered tyrants of the southern skies, with great leathery wings, cruel beaks, and insatiable hunger. They are especially menacing as they hunt in packs, sometimes 100 in strength. They are much smaller and don't have fire breath, but they bear a striking resemblance to dragons. It seems feasible, then, that through the powerful magic of Valyria, wyverns could have been turned into dragons. Although not mentioned by Septon Barth, there is another creature that might have played a role, a creature that the Valyrians would certainly have encountered, Firewyrms, which dwelled within the 14 Flames. These worms could breathe fire and grow to monstrous sizes. Though they don't fly, they can bore through the stone and soil of the underground. Other than dragons, they are the only creature known to possess the ability to breathe fire. Take the massive size and fire-breathing ability of Firewyrms, combine them with the flight and dragon-like appearance of wyverns, and you might get dragons. It's just speculation, but there is precedent for this idea of crossbreeding animals to achieve specialized traits. For example, riders of the far east of Essos are said to ride zorses, a crossbreed between horses and some other strange horse-like creature. There are even stranger examples of crossbreeding, which include humans, that will become relevant later in the video. One potential wrinkle in both these theories is that dragons once spanned the entire world. According to Septon Barth, dragon bones have been found as far north as Ib, and even in the jungles of Sithorios. And there are tales of dragons being sighted and slain even before the rise of Valyria, implying they were around before Valyrians would have bred them. It is possible that some of these dragon sightings were actually wyvern sightings, as wyverns are often mistaken for dragons. But George R.R. Martin himself said there were dragons all over once. So some of these sightings must have been real. If dragons did spring forth from the 14 flames, as the Valyrians claim, then they must have spread all over the world before they were tamed and controlled by the Valyrians, or they similarly sprang forth elsewhere throughout the world. Does this imply that the unnatural crossbreeding origin for the dragons is less likely to be true? The truth might be somewhere in the middle. Maybe the crossbreeding theory is true, but just happened far earlier in history than the rise of Valyria. This brings us to another legend around the origin of dragons. Asshai by the Shadow is a mysterious and incredibly ancient city that is home to powerful magics and knowledge of ancient histories. When I say Asshai is incredibly ancient, I mean it's far older than Valyria, and may even predate the First Long Night. According to Septon Barth, the people of Asshai claim the city has stood since the beginning of the world. There, they have many different tales of the origin of dragons, but one such tale claims that dragons first came from the Shadowlands, a mysterious land beyond Asshai. Some ancient people found dragons in the shadow, tamed them, and then brought them to Valyria and taught Valyrians how to wield this power. What if we were to combine the two theories, the Shadowland theory and the magic crossbreeding theory? It's possible that these ancient people didn't find dragons, but created them, using wyverns and firewyrms as previously suggested. Little is known of the Shadowlands, but we do know that the people of Asshai are extremely powerful in all sorts of magic. It seems feasible, then, that they would have the power to create such a force. We also don't know the details about how they might have taught Valyrians how to tame dragons. It doesn't seem as simple as learning some techniques. We see in House of the Dragon, Targaryen children learning the commands of how to direct their dragons. But these are Targaryens that have bonded with their respective dragons. They already possess some type of magical link to the creatures. They possess the blood of the dragon. This connection of their blood to dragons seems incredibly important. So important that Valyrians had a long tradition of incest to maintain the bloodline, a tradition that the Targaryens continued even in Westeros. Continuing along with this theory, what if blood of the dragon isn't just a metaphor? What if not only did these ancient people of Asshai or the Shadowlands create dragons through crossbreeding and magic, but they experimented on Valyrians as well? Perhaps the way the ancient people taught the Valyrians to wield the power of dragons was by putting power directly into their blood, by breeding Valyrians with dragons, or by using some type of blood magic to tie Valyrians with dragons. The blood of the dragon may literally course through their veins, giving them a powerful connection to the creatures. In fact, there are tales of Targaryens being born with dragon-like features. King Maegor Targaryen had a child with Queen Eleanor that was supposedly born malformed and stillborn, an eyeless boy born with rudimentary wings. Rhaenyra, who we see experiences a stillbirth in House of the Dragon, in the books it is said that the baby was a stillborn girl, twisted and malformed, with a hole in her chest where her heart should have been, and a stubby, scaled tail. These may be instances where the crossbreeding with dragons surfaces. This genetic link may also explain other magical powers the Targaryens possess, like dragon dreams, where they dream visions of the future. It wouldn't be the first example of strange crossbreeding in this world. There are tales of humans crossbreeding with giants, mermaids, children of the forest, goats, and strange monsters. This is definitely an element that George R.R. Martin likes to play with. Similarly, there is even a fan theory that the Starks are descendants of crossbreeding between humans and White Walkers. There is a tale of a Lord Commander of the Night's Watch nicknamed the Night's King, who fell in love with a white-skinned woman who became known as the Corpse Queen. It's been speculated that she was a White Walker. In the books, White Walkers have a bit more culture than those of the show, making the theory a little more feasible. Furthermore, one character in the book believes this Night's King to have been a Stark. though that's controversial. It is possible, therefore, that the Starks have White Walker blood coursing through their veins, and this might explain their magical abilities, like Bran's ability of Greensight, a power associated with the old gods of Westeros and the Children of the Forest. Blood and lineage is important in the world of Game of Thrones. Maybe crossbreeding with particular magical creatures is the source of different houses' particular magic abilities. Back to the ancient people of the Shadow and the role they might have played in granting the Valyrians their dragon taming ability, it seems strange that these people would possess the ability and not go on to conquer Essos themselves, like the Valyrians would later on. For this reason, Sept and Barth is skeptical of the theory, but maybe they had other motives. They are extremely mysterious, so we can only speculate, but there is a theme in the world of Game of Thrones of events being pushed along by mysterious forces. Like the Three-Eyed Raven, he drives many events in the world of Game of Thrones through his power of Greensight. Similarly, the ancient people of the Shadowlands, or Ashai, might have been pushing things along behind the scenes. For example, Ashai is important to the faith of the Lord of Light. Melisandre, the Red Priestess who accompanies Stannis Baratheon, is from Ashai, and the texts that tell the prophecy of Azor Ahai, or the prince that was promised, are kept in Ashai. Perhaps these ancient people gave the Valyrians dragons so that fire, the power of the Lord of Light, might balance out ice, the power of the Lord of Light's great enemy, the Lord of Darkness, or Soul of Ice. Perhaps they wanted the Targaryens to eventually conquer Westeros with these dragons, preparing them to defend against the White Walkers, thus fulfilling the prophecy of A Song of Ice and Fire. In recent events, we see some hints at the link between dragons and the Shadowlands. When Daenerys received her gift of 3 dragon eggs, she was told they came from the Shadowlands beyond Ashai. Anyway, I think that's enough wild speculation for now. There is one more tale about the origin of dragons that is well known. In Qarth, an ancient port city of Essos, they claim that the world once had a second moon in the sky, and one day the moon cracked like an egg and 1,000,000 dragons poured forth. Now, I know that crossbreeding of Wyverns, Firewyrms, and Valyrians seems far-fetched, but this tale seems even more far-fetched to me. But in this complicated and mysterious world, who knows? Maybe in the upcoming Jon Snow sequel, we'll take a hard left turn and see the remaining moon crack open, inviting in another massive influx of dragons. We'll have to wait and see. And I should mention, there's no Maester Charles Darwin as far as we know, but it's possible that dragons just evolved in the world, and Firewyrms and Wyverns are 2 related species, each finding their own niche. We don't know how evolution might work in this world, if it even exists, but it's certainly a possibility. George R.R. Martin has created a world rich with fascinating lore and mysteries. He manages to tell tales of magic while maintaining enough mystery that it feels realistic and gripping. And fans have done a great job filling in the blanks with theories and speculation. For the more speculative aspects of this video, I am definitely not the first to come up with some of these ideas. You'll see them discussed on Reddit and other forums. But as with many fan theories that catch fire, it's hard to find the originator of each. We may never know the true origin of dragons, but hopefully as House of the Dragon progresses, we'll learn a little more about these fascinating mysteries. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more. With that, thank you for watching, and see you on the next One Take.